You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about life planning, and it's the beginning of the year, so I wanted to share with the listeners some of the things that I've learned. And I really have told my kids, it's something that I wish they would teach this class in high school or college. And what it is really living your life with a purpose. And if you just tuned in, we talked in the first segment about how you start. One of the things you do with any plan is you assess where you are today. And the way that you assess where you are today with a life plan is you actually imagine that you just died. You can't fix the things that you were working on fixing. You don't have that opportunity to do anything else. You've just got to assess, okay, where are you today? And what you do is kind of break it down into what's important to you. What are the accounts or the segments of your life that you want to assess? And so you may want to assess your faith, your family, your relationship with your family members, your relationship with your finances, how you are today versus where you really want to be, or just look at kind of here's how he died, here's how he lived his life or her life. So that's the first step. The next step is you break down the priorities or the accounts, and you start assessing where you are today. What's the relationship or where are you financially today? And then the next step is to, write 20 years out. This is where he died 20 years. You've got a second chance. So what you're doing with your life plan is really filling in that gap and living your life with a purpose. And I had an opportunity to go to Sun River a few years back and go to a great organization called Building Champions, and they're life coaches and business coaches, executive coaches, and they do a great job of keeping you on track. But the very first thing they have you do is write this life plan. I never had heard of it. I just went to work, got up, and did my thing, and traveled a lot as a young man with a young family, and felt like I was doing my job, being the hunter-gatherer, going out, getting the bread, and bringing it home, and that was my job to provide. And for guys out there, sometimes that can end up a very empty place because all you've done is done all the providing and you haven't done anything for yourself. And funny, I actually, my son Sean was going through a time in his life, and the second time I went to Sun River with Building Champions, I paid to bring him with us, because I really felt like it was something that he needed in his life to really sit down and assess what he really wanted from life at the end of the day, what was really, really important to you. And you can't do that when you've got a cell phone in front of you, or you got a computer in front of you, or the phone's ringing or chatter around you. You honestly have to go back to the basics, and this gave opportunity in Sun River was to have a rule pad, is a notepad, and walk out into a meadow, and they had seats sitting everywhere, and nobody was within 20 yards of each other. And you really had an assignment. You sat down and you did some reflection. There's a lot of good can come out of reflection and meditation and really thinking about where you are. And so, one of the things it did for me, it really clarified in my mind where I was in my life. And I highly recommend you do this, and just take it, go out, figure out where are you today. Because a lot of people just live their life every day. So where are you today? Where do you want to get to, and how do you get there? So we don't have a lot of time left in the last segment, so I want to get down to the facts on this. So you get a piece of paper, you write an account down. Let's just say it's your financial account. And you look at it and you say, okay, financially, I'm here today. And this is where I want to be when I retire or when I die 20 years from now. So how do you get there? You may want to look at things like what's your credit card debt? How are you going to get rid of that? What's your mortgage opportunity? What do you have there? What's your financial plan, your IRA, your 401k, your savings account, your emergency savings account, those things that are in your financial plan. So you put down and you assess exactly where you are right now, and then you say where you want to be at the end of the day. Well, that may be 20 years out, so there's a lot that can happen between now and then. So let's drill it down. There's two exercises that come out of this that are really great. One of them is you do an annual plan as to where you want to be, but more importantly, you do a 90-day plan. A lot can happen with some focus on 90 days. So you're going to write an immediate 90-day plan as to what you want to accomplish over the next 90 days. That gives you a short enough period of time to focus in and make something happen, and it's also measurable. So you have a plan, and then you measure it. So that's the great part about that exercise. And in that 90-day plan, you're going to have some non-negotiables. And we talked about this before the break. Well, what's a non-negotiable? Well, hey, I'm overweight again. And when I first did my life plan, I lost all that weight. I did a really good job. And the reason I did was because I had non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are things that you can't negotiate away. On my life plan, and I'm getting back on it, this year, is that every day I want to break a sweat. Well, that doesn't really work, because yesterday I was planning on doing it in the morning. I negotiated that away, and then I got obligations into the evening, got home, I was too tired to work out. That's what happens to me all the time. I'll come back and I'll have a plan, and then I'll negotiate that away. I can't let that happen. So I'm going to get more specific. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., I'm down in the gym, and I'm doing 30 minutes of cardio, and then I'm on my way. And so that's the life plan to get my health back in order. That's the easiest way for me to do things, is putting non-negotiables in there. So, put your plan together. Know where you want to go. I promise you, if you give yourself time, you will never regret this. And one of the funny parts is I was talking to my son Sean this week, and we were talking about, the amount of hours that I work are disproportionate to what I should be as far as, spending my time on myself. And we're really, Dana and I really trying to make some things happen in our mortgage business. And so we're growing it. So it's labor intensive. There's a lot of hours we're trying to do. It's booming. So it's kind of like, let's work it while it's there. But like my son said, he goes, Dad, every time I hear you talk, you always talk about doing this for this person or doing that for that person. He said, you never spend any time thinking about you. And, in the Buddhism faith, one of the most important things, the first thing you love the most is yourself. And he brought that up. He said, the Buddha says, if you can't love yourself and take care of yourself, then everything else around you crumbles. And I've always been altruistic, and I've never really, it struck me a chord with me, because I don't think about myself enough. And what I'm asking you to do as a listener out there is think about yourself, because I'm going to think about myself this year. I'm going to do things with my health and my finances and things like that to make sure that I take care of those accounts. And it sounds selfish, but if you don't take care of yourself, you're not good for everybody else around you. And that's one thing I've found. So making the plans and actually doing something about it. So those are some of the accounts that you need to think about: faith, children, finance, career, family, self-development, a vacation. Putting a vacation down as part of your life plan is a good thing. And actually putting it on your calendar is even better. And then you plan and you do it. A lot of people don't take care of themselves. They don't take that vacation. So those are things to think about as well. If you're listening and you want to get involved and do a life plan for yourself, just send a text to our show, 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. And part of my life plan is to share something with people that will make a difference in their life. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm sharing you this idea of a life plan. I would highly encourage every one of you listening out there to do it. I'm going to do it again. Not only do you write it one time, but the next step is that every week you read that plan. On a Saturday morning, you read what your plan is. Every quarter you go back and assess, how did you do against your plan? Yeah, it's very detailed, but guess what? If you don't get discipline in your life, you're just going to live your life. And whatever's going to happen to you is going to happen. That's the difference between having a life plan and someone that's just living their life. If you have a life plan, you're living a purposeful life. You're living your life on purpose. Why are you waking up today? What are you doing today that's going to make a difference in your life and those that you care about? So those are the things, and that's how you stay on course. You stay on course by tracking your actions. Biggest thing that's helped me, I'll share with you, is that I have my calendar at work, and I have all my appointments scheduled on there, and all the things I need to get done are on there. And a long time ago, a counselor that I was talking to said, look, all you have on your calendar is your work. Where's your family? Where's your life? So one of the things I do now is on Sunday morning, I've got an appointment to go to church on my calendar. It pops up on my iPhone. It says, hey, an hour before, you're supposed to be at church. So and there's every Friday night, it pops up, date with Dana. So I have my I still date my wife. And that's one of the things I believe is if your wife remains your girlfriend or your husband remains your boyfriend throughout your life and you still treat them that way, you'll have a good marriage. So we have our date set up. We also value our friendships. So once a month, we have a date with friends. Those are the things that you can do that can help you out. Let me help you out as well as far as your finances go. I can look at your mortgage, give you a plan. If you're looking to buy a home, you don't know how to get there yet, call us, reach out to me. I can help you put together a plan, part of your life plan. Maybe it's to buy a new house. So let's figure out how you're going to get there. Well, I don't have a down payment. Well, how are you going to get the down payment? And then we put together a plan on how you can do that. So I really appreciate you listening in, Real Talk Texas. I'm your host, Steve Hakes. I'm here every Sunday from noon to 1 on KLIF, News and Information. I hope you found this life planning lesson a good one. So text our show, 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. Just send me that text. Good luck to you in 2013, and tune in next week.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.